Hello friends, I have just literally moved into my flat. I got boxes all over the place. It's very stressful moving, as probably you all know, okay? To add to that, my brother calls me yesterday and he calls me to let me know my uncle Mike yesterday afternoon passed away. My brother called me in the evening. So since then I've been rearranging everything as well as trying to unpack. Okay, so British Airways have been kind enough to change my flight that I've got on the weekend to Glasgow. I'm now going to go back, instead of going there on Friday, I'm going to go there Saturday. But tomorrow, being Wednesday, I am flying to the west coast of Ireland to see my uncle, to go to my Uncle Mike's funeral. His funeral will be on Thursday. But to get there from here in southwest London, that means taking a tube, a train, a plane, a bus, and possibly hitchhiking. Now, Irish wakes can be a lot of fun. What's the difference between an Irish wake and an Irish wedding? One less drunk. It's a great time to meet family, catch up. Obviously a lot sadder than a wedding, but I've got to get there, okay? All right, so if you'd like to see if I make it or not, and if you'd like to see what the west coast of Ireland looks like in the winter time, I could probably see really crap weather, and I probably won't even have the right clothing. I'm not going to be able to take a suit. A, I've got to look for it through the boxes, and then B, I'm only taking hand luggage, and Ryanair is very, very strict about what you can bring and what you can't bring on. But I'll try and look decent enough for the funeral. Anyway, if you'd like to see how it all goes along, stick with this journey. So if there is a life after death, I can promise you my Uncle Mike is up there in the sky. And I like to think he is looking down at all of us right now and he's laughing at that joke. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, okay? My Uncle Mike had a great sense of humour. So, here's to my Uncle Mike. See you soon. Hello, my name's Steve Morgan, and from the age of 16, when I left home, I've had some crazy adventures. It's been the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's why I decided to do Morgan's World, to share those journeys with you. To keep up to date with my life's journeys, please like and subscribe to my channel below. Welcome to my world. And you cannot make this up. Fingers crossed, it is what I'm hoping it is. I'll let you know when I open it. Just come from the post office. So I've just opened up the letter. It was something that had to be delivered in person, and it is an Irish passport, and I am so relieved to get it. I've been trying for years to get an Irish passport. My own family didn't even help me, okay? But what it was there was a few in my Irish heritage. There was a few discrepancies in the birth certificates. Names were misspelt. My parents were born in the 1930s, and now they're both passed. It was very, very hard to get it, but now I have it. That means less queues in the EU. I won't have to queue up like everybody else. And it also means a little bit of safer travel. You know, if I go to some dodgy countries that don't like the UK, having served in the military and everything is not always the greatest if that gets flagged up by any chance, okay? So having two passports is really good. My British passport, which I love dearly, I've only had 3 years and it is almost out. It's almost out of pages because it's got too many stamps in it. So anyway, this will come in handy because it doesn't need to get stamped every time I'm in the EU. Hoorah! Okay, so one tube and one train down. I have made it to Stansted Airport and I'm in the Escape Lounge. It's not the greatest lounge in the world and it's not the greatest airport in the world, but today has been pretty smooth sailing. no long queues or anything, and the food could be a lot worse. So anyway, I'm gonna ditch this canned Guinness in a bit and get some real stuff. So this is also going to be a first for me. I have not brought a passport with me to travel abroad. I'm using an identity card. I've never done that before. There should be no problem, fingers crossed. But anyway, it's a nice way to travel inside the EU, so you don't have to take your passport and worry about it getting lost or damaged with the terrible weather. That's happened to me before in Australia, where I've absolutely got soaked. Go watch that video. Okay, the best of the worst of Sydney. Anyway, see you on the other side. So I've made it on the flight, and I'm next to Natalie.
Yeah, Natalie's daughter.
And she's as mad as a. What are you?
Mad
as a box of frogs. But we're kind of similar. She's drinking my Greg's coffee, which is
like that. Do you like that?
Really got Guinness in it.
Oh yeah, like that.
Anyway, it's only an hour. We've got to behave for 1 hour. Okay, but we will have a laugh, right,
Shall
Natalie?
we see how long it's going to take?
So Natalie has fortunately gone to sleep. Kind of reminds me of when I took my daughter to Disney World when she was a little kid. Anyway, I got one sister up there, another sister in the back, and 2 brothers, and I had no idea they were going to be on this flight. I am the black sheep of the family, and I had no idea. Swear to God on that. And that's how I kind of mentioned I got no help from my family getting, a passport. So this has never happened to me before, and I did not know that she was going to be on this flight. And this is my older sister going to the funeral as well. So welcome to Knock Airport, County Mayo. What a small little tiny cute airport. Okay, it was built because there's a pilgrimage site near here where supposedly the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to some people roughly 150 years ago, 200 years ago, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, they thought they would build an airport here, I think in 1985, and my first time coming here was 1989, and it hasn't grown that much bigger. It has grown, but not too much bigger. So my sisters are about to rent a car, and my brothers I think are just coming off the plane. All right, but anyway, I thought I was going to be getting a bus to a place called Castle Bar. They called it Castle Bar, and then hitchhike, and that would have been bloody content. They're destroying my channel because I might be taking a ride with them. A, I get there in time, and B, I save a bit of money, right? But anyway, you cannot make this bloody shit up, okay? Swear to God, I did not know they were going to be on this flight. So possibly the hardest thing about this journey is going to be 5 of us fitting into a single car. Very old school. Everyone got plenty of room? Yeah, I'm glad so.
I have.
Okay, so we've made it to Newport, County Mayo, okay? And my other brother, so the 6 siblings, is actually here. I'm sharing a room with him. And if I remember correctly, he does snore, okay? It's been probably about 45 years since I last shared a room with him. But anyway, he plonked his stuff on the bed, and I said, oh, you got the one by the window? And he goes, oh no, you have it now. So I'm on a small bed. I should have sussed it out first. And he's got the large bed, and this is our room. TV, very basic. I don't think it cost that much, to be fair. I think it was only about 60 euros for 2 beds, and it might include breakfast. Or actually, yeah, it might include breakfast. I'll let you know. So I've just come from the funeral home, which is just over there, okay? And my cousins and everyone were all gathered around in the square, dressed in black, and you walk around and you just shake everybody's hand. It's a little bit old-fashioned, like what you probably see in the movies, but really, really nice. Obviously, not a good time because my uncle had passed, but he was a great guy and he lived a long life. I can't remember how old he was, but I'm going to say he was at least close to 90 minimum. Okay, so anyway, I'm just going for a quick walk. I might even have a pipe. This is an amazing town, I'm telling you. Okay. When I was a kid, I used to like think that this was like a western town, but that ain't, you know, like country or western with the cowboys. And I used to imagine coming here. But as a child, I spent every summer here, you know, and coming from London, you couldn't get anything so different. It was just so different, and it was so lovely. I really enjoyed it. There was like about possibly over 20 pubs here when I was a young guy, and when I was a kid. And I used to even hitchhike in here to town as a teenager and play pool and smoke cigarettes and drink beer when my mum would think that I was with her cousins, my second cousins, you know, some older people just hanging out at their house. But I weren't. I was in the pub drinking beer and everything. But I absolutely love this town, and it's a lot better in the summer. Okay, so I wanted to do a video of me suffering hitchhiking and everything, and it ain't gonna be like that. So maybe I'll tell you a nice quick way how to get an Irish passport. I'll do that in a little bit later. So when I talk about pubs that I used to come into as a teenager, you obviously can't do that now, and smoke cigarettes and play pool and drink beer, it was this one. And I can't really pronounce it in its Gaelic name, but it means the Groinne Well. And it was an amazing pub. And I'm so glad it's still open. All the pubs closing down and everything. This pub is still open. Time to get a beer. Yeah, buddy, could I just get a pint, please? Okay, so yes, it's been an evening of saying our goodbyes to Uncle Mike and everything, but it's also been great catching up with family. Had them all over there, my siblings and cousins and everything, and they've all gone to bed. Last man standing, and I'm drinking a real Guinness. Hurrah! So it's the next morning, and before the actual church service goes, I thought I'd sneak away and have a last look at my granddad's house, where my cousin now lives. And there seems to be a dog barking, but hopefully he should be harmless. Little kind of puppy. Hello, little puppy. But all this land there, I used to play in when I was a kid. My uncle or my cousin owns that house now. And this house there, I have many fond memories. That was my granddad's house. My grandma and my granddad's house. That's Nathan Mountain over there. And where the clouds are there, when the clouds disappear, you got St. Patrick's Mountain, or otherwise known as Crow Patrick. And this house is actually where my mum would have grown up. Not just me, not just summer holidays for me. So as I leave my granddad's house and I walk towards the church, it's only a short walk. This brings back lots of childhood memories from when I spent my summer. And right where that house is now, there used to be like a shop, a sweet shop, and she always had the nicer sweets. It was called McNulty's. And right down there, where that house there, no, I got it wrong. This was called Marley's, and that was McNulty's. And Marley's always had the better sweets, but McNulty's used to give them to you for free sometimes if you were just really nice to her. And there was my mother's school. I'm not sure if it's still a school now. Let's go check it out. And this is the church my parents, my mother would have prayed in every Sunday. It was a very old-fashioned church where the women would sit at the front and the men would sit at the back. Very old-fashioned. But let's check the school out. Hey buddy, how's it going? Is it still a school?
Yeah. School is open, yeah.
That's still a school now though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Oh wow, it's been a school for a long time now. Let's go check it out. That's the school my mother would have went to. Wow. Well, obviously there wasn't a basketball pitch when my mother was growing up, but 1880 to 1980. So yeah, well over 100 years. So I don't want to go any closer to the school because there's actually a class being taken there right now. There are kids there. So friends, it's a few days later and I'm at Castle Bar right now, or Castle Bar, but they pronounce it Castle Bar over here, okay? And I'm waiting for a bus to Knock Airport. I tried to get there yesterday, or I did get there yesterday, but stupid me, I had too much to drink and I fell asleep and I missed my flight. Yes, this is Morgan's world. Anyway, so it all worked out because I spent the night with my awesome cousin Mary, who lives somewhere in that direction. So this is how you might be entitled to an Irish passport. All you need is one grandparent. If either one of your parents is Irish, or you've got one grandparent that's Irish, you're entitled to an Irish passport, okay? And if you don't know, if you need some like kind of legal help, free legal help, the Irish Centre in London, they have one in Camden and they have one in Hammersmith, will give you help for free, okay? And you know, help you fill in all the forms and everything. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. An Irishman once told me, if I don't see you again, I'll see you all in heaven. Hopefully, I'll see you all on the next journey.